Good afternoon, dear students. Myself, Dr. Neha Srivastava, Assistant Professor, School of Agriculture. Today, I will deliver you a lecture on the topic that is concept of vegetatively propagated crop as a lecture number 8, and it's a part of your unit number 2nd. Concept of vegetatively propagated crop. Before studying about the vegetatively propagated crop, I want to know you about the modes of reproduction, that what is reproduction and what are the modes of reproduction. After that, about asexual reproduction, then vegetative reproduction, and what are the types of vegetative reproduction. Then natural and artificial vegetative reproduction, its significance and differences. On these topics I will tell you today. So let's start. First is what are the mode of reproduction through which plant reproduce. So what mode of reproduction tells us? It tells us about or determines the genetic constitution of crop plants, that is whether the plants are normally homozygous or heterozygous. Means we have to know that either the plants are homozygous or heterozygous. So this modes of reproduction will help us in determining this homozygous or heterozygous. Other than this, the mode of reproduction of any crop plant is also important for making artificial hybrid. If we want to make any artificial hybrid, then first we have to know its modes of reproduction, either it's sexual or asexual. And the production of hybrid between diverse parents or desirable parents is the basic requirement of almost all the modern breeding program. So that for creating variability, we can say. And I think you all know it very well that the mode of reproduction in crop plants may be broadly grouped into two groups, that is asexual and sexual. So how many types of reproduction are there? That is two, that is sexual and asexual. So we will start asexual reproduction. Asexual means it does not involve the fusion of male and female gamete. Whatever plant develops, it may be developed either from the vegetative parts of the plant or from the embryo. And these both reproduction takes place without fertilization. So we can say that asexual reproduction does not involve the fusion of male and female gamete, or the gamete formation takes place without the fusion of male and female gametes and fertilization. So these two processes doesn't take place in asexual reproduction. So what are the mode of reproduction then if male and female gamete doesn't involve? So either it can propagate through any vegetative part of the plant. Vegetative part may be anything, either stem, leaves, root. Okay, it can be anything. So either it can be developed from any vegetative part of the plant, or it may arise from the embryo. And this also develop without fertilization. So if the plant develop from vegetative parts of the plant, that is called as vegetative reproduction. And if it develop from the embryos without fertilization, then it is called apomixis. Okay. Now, what are the methods of asexual reproduction? Method same I told you, means it's budding, fragmentation, vegetative propagation, spore formation. So we have to study about vegetative propagation. Now we come to our point. This is the only core topic, vegetative propagation. So now you can, I think you all understand that before studying about the vegetative propagation, first you have to know that what is the reproduction. Second, what are the modes of reproduction. Third, how many types of reproduction are there. Fourth, what is asexual reproduction. Then what are the two types of reproduction in asexual reproduction. After that, in that two types, that is vegetative reproduction, vegetative propagation and apomixis. So we will discuss on both these topics, that is vegetative propagation and apomixis. In today's class only I will tell you about the vegetative propagation, and about apomixis I will tell you about in next class. So what are the vegetative propagation? Okay, so how do plant produce asexually? So I told you that plant reproduce asexually through vegetative propagation. What are the vegetative? That is, either it can propagate naturally or artificially. Means it can propagate naturally or artificially. We can also propagate the plant. So that is called artificial. Under natural, many are there. Example, bulb, tuber, runner. We will discuss. Now what is apomixis? Seeds are formed but the embryo develop without fertilization. Means if the plant develops from embryo, that is called apomixis, without fertilization. It's of four types: parthenogenesis, apospory, apogamy, adventive embryony. On this topic I will tell you in next video lecture. Today only about the vegetative propagation. It's also of two, that is natural. It can be propagate either naturally or artificially. So I will first tell you about the naturally propagated. So now, what is vegetative propagation? It is the process of multiplication in which a portion of fragment, means any part of the plant, is propagate and develop into a new individual. Means it is the process of multiplication in which a fragment of plant body function as propagates and develop into a new individual. Okay, this is vegetative propagation. Now what are their types? I told you that it can be developed through leaves, stems, roots or buds. Okay, now first is propagation through roots. The roots of some plants develop adventitious bud on them. Some example are shisham, guava, poplar. So these are the tree example which develop adventitious bud on them to propagate the new plant or to develop the new plant. Some tuberous also example is there, that is in which it come your sweet potato and dahlia. You can see in image also about the sweet potato. There are some tuberous adventitious roots besides processing adventitious bud also contain sufficient quantity of food. Yes, some tuberous adventitious, some crops are there which contain sufficient quantity of food. Means some tuberous adventitious roots are there which contain some food also. Here you can see like sweet potato. Next is, this is the one image of example of dahlia and sweet potato. In first image you can see about the adventitious bud growing into a new shoot in tuberous root of sweet potato. Okay, on the other hand, in the next picture B, you can see that the old root tubers of dahlia growing into new plants. Means roots are old and that is growing into a new plant through the root. So these are the modes of asexual reproduction through roots. Vegetative propagation. These are the some examples of vegetative propagation through roots. What are the example of roots? That is turnip, radish, arum root, carrot, beetroot. And these are the example of underground roots which we eat. Now next is our propagation through stem or propagation by stem. So propagation by stem modification, that is of three main types, that is aerial, subaerial, underground stem modification. Okay, under aerial means it's not growing on the ground, it's growing, it's either it can be creepers, trailer, climber. Three names have been given according to their propagation, that it can be creepers, trailer or climber. After that, about subaerial modification, runner, stolon, sucker, offset. Then stem modification, underground stem modification, that is called bulb, corm, rhizome, tuber. So these are the propagation by stem. First is aerial modification. Some examples here given. Climbers also. Here creepers, twinner. So these are the examples of aerial modification. You can search many more on Google about the examples of aerial modification. That is climber, creeper and twinner. Now subaerial stem. That is of four types, that is runner, stolon, offset and sucker. Okay, sucker. Examples are also some more, that is banana and pineapple suckers. After that, strawberry is a runner. Stem modification. Third one is underground stem modification. That is tuber, rhizome, bulb, corm. So these are the underground stem modification. Some examples are given about bulb, that are onion bulb, daffodil bulb, tulip bulb and garlic bulb. Tuber crops, tomato tuber, Jerusalem artichoke tuber, Irish potato tuber, Dioscorea tuber. So these are the some example of tuber crops. Now next one is corm. Corm means it's in the ground, underground only. This corm is in one image you can see about Gladiolus corm and another is Quercus corm. We have to save this Gladiolus corm for next or developing new plant. Now rhizome, that is banana, blueberry and Irish rhizome. These are the example of rhizomes. The next one is propagation by leaves. Some examples given. Bryophyllum, Kalanchoe, Begonia. These are the examples of propagation by leaves. Artificial vegetative propagation. What are the artificial? Above what we have learnt above, that is about natural, and I think you all know very well. Now next one is artificial, means we have to do manually. It is commonly used for the propagation of many crop species, although it may not occur naturally in those species. Means it is commonly used in those species where it cannot be used naturally or occur naturally. Some cuttings are commercially used for the propagation of sugar cane, grapes, roses, and etc. Layering, budding, grafting, these are the three methods, and guttae are in common use for the propagation of ornamental shrubs. Techniques are available for vegetative multiplication through tissue culture, in case of which plant species and attempts are being made to develop the techniques for many others. In many of these species, sexual reproduction occurs naturally, but for certain reasons, vegetative reproduction is more desirable. This is layering, and you can see that what stepwise it has been done. That is layering, normal layering. After that mound layering, seed or guttae layering. So these are the methods of layering. After that, budding, how we have to bud. What we have to do, scion, means with scissor we will cut in this portion. Then after that the shield is inserted, means what we have to insert the part of plant until top of the shield and T-cut are not even. After that we have to put some tape or something like that so that it can regenerate. Next one is about budding. Now grafting. What we have to do in grafting? One stem, that is a front view, we will cut that. After that we have to stick the another part of a stem with this main part of the plant, and we have to tie with the help of rope or polythene. That is grafting. Significance of vegetative reproduction. What are the significance? Vegetative reproduction species offer unique possibilities in breeding. This reproduction offers unique possibilities in breeding. A desirable plant may be used as a variety directly regardless of whether it is homozygous or heterozygous. Yes. Further, mutant birds, branches of seedling of desirable, can be multiplied and directly used as seeds. Used as varieties. So these are the references where I have taken some images and data. Next, it's over, and once I will repeat it. That is, first we have to know about the reproduction, then modes of reproduction. After modes of reproduction, what are the types of reproduction? Then among that types, that is sexual and asexual, what is asexual reproduction and what are their processes to develop seed. So one is vegetative propagation and another is apomixis. So we have studied about vegetative propagation, that what is vegetative propagation and what are their types. About each and every types I have showed you the images of some crops: underground roots, underground stem, that is divided into three: aerial, subaerial and modification. Underground modification. After that I have told you about aerial modification, subaerial and suckers. Subaerial and modification, underground modification of stems. So these are with examples of each and every stem modification with diagram, so that you can understand it. After that I have told you about that were about natural vegetative propagation. After that, artificial, how we can artificially propagate, vegetatively propagate. For that, layering, grafting, budding, all these steps were there. Next one was significance of vegetative reproduction or propagation. So these are some significance, references, and thank you everyone. If you have, please go through the video uploaded. If you have doubt, you can ask me in tomorrow class. Thank you.